Your last name for the camera.
Christine Carmichael, Carmichael.
And you work for who?
Canadian Niagara Power.
Okay. And just give me a little brief description as to what happened this morning or what we're dealing with today.
This morning was the first phase of the removal and rebuild of the international power line. And as you can see, the wires were severed behind us. Ontario CNP transmission grid connects to National Grid's transmission system over these towers. The towers are 100 years old. We needed to remove and replace the aging infrastructure, and this was the first stage. We severed the cables and are pulling them in on the Canadian side, and in the next couple of weeks we will be removing the towers that you see behind me and the one on the US side.
Okay, very good. And so there's 3 stages involved, like in total, or?
The second stage will be the removal of the towers over the next couple of weeks, and then next year we will be rebuilding the towers on both sides and reconnecting the transmission system.
So it's going to end up being 2 new towers, 1 on each side,
That is correct.
and all brand new lines across.
That's correct.
Now, to facilitate something like this today, like it's not just something simple that you could just throw together. It's obviously large scale.
Yes, you're right. It took over 2 years of planning. It started with Canadian Niagara Power and National Grid, and we have over 30 agencies working with us today to coordinate this event to ensure on both sides of the border safety, of course, first, and as limited interruption of traffic as possible.
Right. Speaking of traffic, looking behind you, there's the Peace Bridge. Obviously, the Peace Bridge was closed today. Is that correct?
It was closed for approximately 10 minutes prior to the actual wires coming down and a few minutes afterwards, just to avoid driver distraction.
Very good. So it was a very quick, fast routine. It was very quick. The bridge was reopened. Was there any safety issues? Was there any difficulties, problems? Wind delayed
There were
the...
high winds at the higher elevations, which it took longer than expected to affix the charges to the cables. So we were delayed by approximately 2.5 hours just to ensure that that was done safely.
Okay. So when this was all done, overall, like how many delays were there as well? There was a couple delays?
Well, it was initially scheduled for 7 a.m. and I believe it was about 9:40 when the actual wires were severed.
Okay, very good. And what was the procedure? The lines were blasted off on the other side?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes,
Just tell me the procedure, like just your words, like onto the camera.
We affixed charges to the cables, and then the charge was detonated, and instantaneously the wires were severed.
And how many wires were there?
6 wires, and they were severed all at one time.
Okay, so what happened? They dropped into the water?
They dropped into the water, and the crews behind us are now reeling them in on the Canadian side.
Perfect. Very good. Thank you very much.